You're watching Carlyle's Picks, and today we're going to talk about the whole GoPro saga. But this is actually beyond GoPro. And specifically, what we're talking about is the whole concept of people saying, oh, they sell so many units that even if they have a small percentage of failure, like 1%, what's 1% of a billion? That's a huge number. So, it's understandable there are going to be that many people upset. But there's a lot of different ways to look at that, and I'm going to go into the details. The devil is in the details. People trying to tell me this, I'm well aware of that concept. I'm well aware of the percentages and how that whole thing works. So you don't have to tell me that, but there's some other details that I think people are missing. So one of the things we want to definitely get into is we're going to be looking at some of the most popular products, because people talk about, oh, it's the volume. Again, so many sold, even a small percentage failure is a big number. All right, so we're going to look at some of the most popular products out there, and I haven't even looked at these products yet. So live on this video, we're going to experience together, because this is unbiased. People think I'm biased and I just hate GoPro, I got something against GoPro, whatever. We're going to look at this, first time. You're going to discover this with me while we're looking at products like the iPhone, Windows 7, Nintendo 3DS, Connect, the iPhone 5, Beats, and PS4. These products were picked based on, I did a research on top selling products. I didn't care what they were, mainly electronics products, but I picked top selling products, and let me give you some of the numbers. 5 million in 3 days, that's iPhone. 5 million iPhones sold in 3 days. 90 million Windows 7 copies sold in 4 months. 5 million Nintendo 3DS in a year. Connect, 8 million in 60 days. iPhone 5, 5 million in 3 days. Beats, 15 to 20 million sold to date. PS4, no, it's more than 15 to 20, so 20 million plus sold to date. PS4, 4.2 million units. That's a lot of units. So this whole excuse of, oh, it's even with a low percentage, it's high volume. All right, well, these are products that have sold more. Most of them have sold more than the GoPro. So therefore, they should have a lot more failures than the GoPro does. And before we move forward, I just want to also clarify that you have to, again, devil's in the details. I'm coming from someone, from perspective of someone who has been an insider. I have worked for technology companies. I have been personally and directly involved in deploying things like firmware updates to customers. I've worked directly with sales, so I've heard the stupid excuses. I've worked for a company that was one of the top companies selling broadcast video engineering technology, and we actually had a very, very finicky product that was crashing. I had my unit, they gave me a unit because I had to learn the product myself, and I was having issues. And then I had my manager tell me, oh, every product has issues. Or just these lame excuses. So, I've been an insider. I've seen the games that they play, and they try to manipulate the market, because a lot of these people that are buying these products don't have the engineering know-how or understanding of a lot of stuff of how it works. They don't understand the whole venture capitalist parasite world, where you have these guys that are investors that step in, they put money into a company, and all they're looking for is to make a quick buck. They don't care about long-term. They don't care about the customers. The way they work is like you as an individual, you buy stock to make money from. They actually buy companies to make money from. And just like with stocks, the idea is when you buy a position, when you buy a stock, you have an exit strategy. Whereas, I want to hold this for X amount of time, and then I want to be able to sell it and make a profit in that period of time. So there's a whole timeline that you have planned out. Same thing with venture capitalists. They buy into a company. They want to actually, make money, potentially sell the company, but they're looking to make that profit, and in the short term, not in the long term type of thing. So again, they'll do things that will maybe burn the company in the long term, but they don't care about that. They just care about short-term profits. So I understand this whole process. I've been on the inside of that world, from Wall Street to technology and engineering, and all that space. That's my world. Now, blah blah blah. Let's begin. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna look at GoPro. This is one of the first. When I first went into GoPro to look at Amazon, and I just moused over the reviews, look at the first comment that I saw. I will never buy another GoPro product. Now, one of the things that people talk about, again, is this low percentage, but low percentage of failures with a high volume product. But the type of failures, is very dependent on the company, right? Because Let's say I sell a billion of something, right? Only 1% of them fail, but the kind of failures are really maybe a minor feature that most people don't even use. After a while, it fails, or something weird like there's a status light that used to come on that after a while it just doesn't come on anymore. And it's not something that you really need. It's really cool to have. So you can have little minor things like that. So even with the 1% failure rate, you can have people that will say, oh, it sucks that the light doesn't work, but they won't say stuff like, I'm not gonna buy another product from this company again. I mean, like total boycott of the company. So number one, there are companies that have sold a lot more products than GoPro, and yet they've had a lot less problems or complaints. Then the other thing is, even when they do have complaints, the complaints usually are not so angry and hostile and wow, you guys, like one guy said he broke, his little girl's heart was broken because of a scenario. And so many scenarios of people that are getting burnt by these products. They spend $400, 3 months later the camera is a total dud, it's out of warranty. They're complaining that GoPro doesn't respond, blah, blah, blah. And of course, there's always people that say, oh, well, I called and GoPro responded to me. Yeah. And I'm sure you're not the only one. They're not screwing every single person, and it's not every single product that's dying, but there are a lot of them that are dying, I think a lot more than other companies. And when they die, I mean, we're talking dying, you're not talking about minor issues. But anyway, so let's go into this. So here's the review. So we're just going to go quickly through all this stuff. All right, so one of the first things to notice is this V pattern, which is something that I learned from GoPro now. So now I know going forward to look out for this pattern. Notice that there's not much activity in the middle. People aren't really 3-star or even 2-star. It's either they love it, which anybody who gets a working GoPro, you're probably going to love it because it's a great camera when it works. It's really small, it's got really high resolution, and it's just amazing that they're able to put all this technology and all this functionality into something that small. And if they were only, I believe, and not as greedy as they probably are, then it takes only maybe 15 to 20% more of time to improve the product and make it really, really awesome. But rather than do that, they chose to rush it to market and make the money. So with that in mind, of course you're going to see a lot of these great reviews, because even me, like my GoPro Black, the last one that died, it lasted 3 months and it was doing pretty good most of those 3 months, except for things like battery life, which is nothing you can do about that. The battery just sucks. So people that will buy this camera and have it for actually it could be even 6 months, because they may not shoot as much as I do, so they got 6 months and it's a great experience. The video quality is great, it's so small, they love using the Wi-Fi, and they've never had that functionality before. Maybe they're coming from a standard def camera or a camera without Wi-Fi, so they're amazed by this whole, there's a wow factor. So of course they're gonna come in and say, oh, this is great, this is awesome, I love it, or whatever. And then not much in the middle, because again, either you love it or you hate it. Because if you don't like it, it's bad. It's like it dies on you, or you're missing all your footage from an awesome event. I mean, people are really getting screwed, and there's not really much in between. That's a very, very bad sign, and kind of evidence of what GoPro's all about. But anyway, so let's look at these 1 stars. Let's look at the kind of things they're saying. Doesn't even work. Product hasn't worked properly yet. Contact GoPro support. Get back to me in 2 days. So basically, he's saying that he's not really getting much support from them, and it doesn't really work. Customer service is horrible, and you see this over and over again. Broken USB socket. This guy wanted to like it, like many others, because it really seems like a great product, and it is when it works. I can't read all of that. You guys can pause and read that. The stupid thing won't even stay on. I've had that problem. Out of stock. See, this is the thing that in terms of negative reviews for other products, you usually see a lot of crap like this, out of stock. That's nothing to do with the quality of the product, but that's the normal thing. But here, notice most of them, they're not saying that. They're saying there's serious problems. Wi-Fi is not working. That's something I've had problems with as well. You have multiple cameras on Wi-Fi. Random cameras will drop off the network. Sometimes you can't connect. You could be connecting, today, tomorrow. Then the 3rd day, you just can't connect for some random reason, even with the firmware updates. So you'll see that. Buggy software, Bluetooth doesn't switch on. If I could give it 0 stars, I would. So 1 star is not even enough. That's the kind of stuff that they're saying. Lemon, do not buy, do not buy. Hardest thing is to open and start using it. So it's just complex for this person. Probably my GoPro sensor has too much dead pixels. He may just gotten a dud there. What the hell do you need here? I haven't been able to find any way to download pictures. Okay, this guy just doesn't seem to know what he's doing. Back to drawing board as a product. I hate to say this, but GoPro wasn't ready for the market yet. Yes, absolutely true. Housing leaked. This is something I've even seen with the Sony action cams as well. Kills SD cards dead. I think I've heard something like that. There's something with the SD card issues. More research on other options. So he's looking for something else. The camera does not turn on again. So completely dying. Like I have 2 dead cameras right now. I have a GoPro Black Edition and I think a Silver Edition, which are both completely dead. Do not charge. Change the battery, whatever you want. Again, I have the engineering background and it doesn't matter. It's dead. Pure garbage. Junk. Okay, so we've seen enough of the GoPro. I mean, I'll just scan through real quick. You guys can pause, whatever, or even go to the link I'll put in the description. So a lot of really serious complaints that people are saying. Can't hold up to USB shipping. Okay, whatever that is. Camera quit working after 3 months of use. What do you know? That's about how much use I got out of it. Surprise, surprise. Camera overheats when you set the large frames to high. I think I may have seen that because there's times where it'll be like shutting off all the time. Freezing video icon. Okay, we get the idea. So let's move on. So we're going to look at the Sony HDR AS15. So this is a competing product. The Sony, I was really looking at this because of the motion stabilization. And hey, Sony video, this is what they do. They've been doing video in the professional world. Back in the day, I used to use Sony cameras. So I definitely want to look at them. Now, looking at this, you can see they're not selling anywhere near GoPro because GoPro is spending all its money on ads, basically buying the customers. Funny thing is Sony has a lot of money, so I don't know why Sony didn't advertise as much as GoPro. So that's kind of weird. I guess they're not as interested because Sony's a huge company. They probably have other things that they're more invested in than into this product. So whatever. You can see it's kind of all over the place. You know, you don't have that V pattern. Most people seem to really like it, but then you have a good amount of 4, 3, 2, and 1 stars. A lot less 1 star and 2 star than the other ones, but still, it's kind of I think it's a more normal pattern. But let's look at when people give it a 1 star. These 18 people, why is it 1 star? The first 1 star comment is great video camera. Great video camera. That's the kind of things that people are giving 1 star for a normal product. Very big difference between this and what GoPro people are saying. Complete garbage. Should have bought a GoPro from the start. Very interesting. This guy's recommending GoPro, but he's just as hostile. Complete garbage, he says. I don't know what the reasons are. You guys can freeze and then pause and read what that said. Housing floods. Okay, this is something I've seen even with the GoPros. So people have been complaining about, I guess, underwater. Maybe they go too deep. I don't know what the story is with that, but that's a reoccurring theme I've been seeing. And that's an isolated thing. So the camera you can be used for all kinds of stuff, shooting your motorcycle or whatever. Going underwater is a specific functionality, and apparently the case failed. So I'm talking about the case, not the actual camera. That's pretty bad, but still, that's a little bit different than, hey, this camera totally sucks and it's a dud, which is what people are saying about the GoPros. Needs a helmet mount. That's what he gets a 1 star for. He's basically a preference thing. He thinks it needs a helmet mount, didn't come with one or whatever. So as you can see, these are much lighter than what the GoPro people are saying. All right, return this camera. Okay, so these are small volume products. We want to look at something that's much more higher volume. Here's Contour, which I think is a very, very, very good contender for this market. Now, notice a lot of people like it. Not that much in the low star range. So that's really cool, looking really good. From a review standpoint. It didn't work, couple of serious problems. The showstopper, you guys can freeze and look at that. Faulty item, worthless. Manufacturer went out of business. They did kind of go out of business, kind of, not really, but they're back in business now. Supposedly, I think somebody bought them out. So we'll see what happens with them. I really hope they survive because they really have a great potential from what I've heard. I actually had a Contour back in the day. Then Contour kind of fell behind. So I kind of moved away from Contour. That's kind of what I got into GoPro for. And then they kind of came back on the scene. I started hearing a lot of good things. So it looks like they're really, really back in business. But, you know, it's a tough market, especially with GoPro dominating and doing a lot of stuff that they're doing. So we'll see if they're able to survive. But if they are able to survive, this is definitely a product I would definitely recommend you guys take a look at. Do your homework, but this is definitely something you should check out. Camera dead, unresponsive, okay, out of business. Beware, out of business. Yeah, we know about the out of business stuff. So still, I don't think it's as hostile. Now let's go to something with some big numbers here. So we're gonna look at. Okay, actually, we spent so much time talking about the Amazon reviews on GoPro and some of the competing products that I'm going to have to end this video here and do another part where we are going to talk about these top selling products that we never got around to talking about in this particular video. So we're going to look at some of the top selling products and look at the reviews on those products. Stay tuned.